Okay, welcome to today's video. This is where we're going with this project. This is our drill and tap gauge. And what we are going to do is we're going to draw it out. We're going to use some layers here in our top toolbar. And this is going to allow us to, let me turn on my mouse cursor. This is going to allow us to turn these on and off when we're doing our design. And this gives us information that we want to print, but it will also let us design without it and show what the project is going to look like when we cut it out. All right, and then the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to change this up a little bit, and we're going to add our calculations over here on the side. And I want to do this plan in both fractional and decimal so that we can measure this out with a ruler, but we can also check it with our vernier calipers, which is where we're going with this unit as well. So let's get started. I'm just going to go into my start menu, and we're going to grab a new project. So open up your AutoCAD. I'm using AutoCAD 2023 for this project, and we're going to make the basic box. So in this project, we're going to start out with a piece of material which is 4 inches wide, and you're going to have to trim it down to exactly the, actually, where was I here? Nope, we'll go here. The right, go on drawing one, the right length here. So we want to draw our box here, 4 inches wide by 4 5/8 tall. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my ortho mode here so I can draw nice, perfectly square lines. I'm just going to drag my cursor across. Let's do it at 4, enter, go up. Doesn't matter if you're large or small, follow the process, and then we'll worry about zooming. So I'm going to go 4 5/8, enter. I'm going to go to the left. You can zoom on this if you want. If I pull my cursor way up here, it will zoom this out, but it will also bring it more towards the middle of my screen. And then I can put my cursor on this side and kind of zoom in, and it will also push this more towards the middle of my screen. This direction, once again, is 4 inches. And then I have my snaps turned off, so I'm going to go down here and turn my snap cursor on. You can do that as well while you're drawing the line, and that will allow you to snap to your line. Double check. These are going to be the main constraints that we're using in this. I'm going to use endpoint. I don't need midpoint for anything in here that I can think of off the top of my head, but I'll have intersection, perpendicular, nearest is fine, and I probably don't need parallel for this one, but you can quick set those up. Make sure you have at least those turned on. If I had turned too many on, it might want to snap to the wrong place. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use our offset line, and we're going to, this is going to be how we lay this out. So after we mill our piece to the correct size, we're going to lay this out by putting these measurements in. I'm going to draw a line 1 1/4 inch off of both sides. And we want this to be a very accurate line. So here we can do that in our drawing the same way. I'm going to use my offset tool here, and we're going to type in 1 1/4, so 1-1/4 or 1.25. Enter, and I can use this for both my left and right side. So click on the left one, bring it towards the middle. Click on the right, bring it towards the middle. All right, so that's the easy part. Let's dimension as we go, just so that we're making sure that your drawing is correct. So I'm going to go snap my corners here. This is going to be 4. I like this here. I'm going to actually move this one over onto the left side because we're going to, on the right side, we're going to put our compound measurements here. So I can probably grab this here and bring it out to the left. Let's turn our, excuse the bell. Let me escape out of there so I'm not dimensioning anymore. And let's turn our project into fractional for the time being. So I'm going to click on annotations under my dimension tab. Come on the icon for my dimensions, go down to dimension style manager. We want to modify or change this. We're going to go all the way over to the tab that's primary units, And let's change that from decimal to fractional here. 1/16 is perfect for our intents and purposes. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to shrink this down. Maybe yours by default is 18. Let's shrink this down to, I'm going to do it actually at like 12 or 120 thou, because otherwise we get these arrows that pop out on the outside and it makes dimensioning kind of difficult there. So we're going to shrink those fractions down a little bit. Now this won't apply to what we already have unless I click on set current. And when I do that and close my window, then that should shrink those down and change those. Now, if those did not, what might have happened, and this happens from time to time, if I am in a drawing mode or something like this, and then I go up to annotations and I make these changes, and I hit set current, it won't do anything because down here in my command line, it thinks that I'm already working on one process. So if you're having issues, make sure you just escape a few times before you go up to annotation. All right, moving on. Let's dimension our lines we just offset as well. So from here to here is 1 1/4. Just bring this down. And from here to here is 1 1/4. We'll add some more dimensions in here, which is going to help us lay this out later. But this is fantastic so far. Now, in this video, we got enough time. We're going to just use our offset tool and put these horizontal lines, and all of our center. We're not worried about these when we lay this out. We're not going to draw circles in here on our actual plan. We're just drawing where the intersections are, and that's where we're going to take our center punch and punch those so that we can drill these out on the drill press. So let's get these marked in, because this is how we're going to lay it out on your actual metal. So I have my offset tool here. Let's grab that. We're going to offset. We're going to follow the measurements here. 13/16. Okay. So I'm going to do 13/16. Hit enter. We're going to grab the bottom line and bring it up. Now here's the deal. I'm going to have to be changing measurements anyways to make sure that I'm doing that and I don't get the wrong measurement. I'm going to dimension as I go. It's going to make sure that we get out of the old measurement, and it's kind of a surefire way that we're doing this the correct way. Okay. And then I'm just going to bring this up. I'm going to click off of this, hit escape, and then click on your fraction, and let's drag that down here in the middle. All right, good. So it still put the arrows up there. That's just because this one and the top are going to be pretty skinny. So we can't really do much about that unless we shrink those down really small. And we don't need to do that. Now, our next measurement, let's use offset for 15/16. You can go to town and do the rest of these. Just if you're going to jump ahead, lay these out and put the dimensions on. But then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add another set of dimensions. Well, we'll do that, and we're going to finish off this video with just these lines and dimensions. So jump ahead and do that if you want, and then I'll catch you in the next video when we do these lines. Otherwise, stick with me and let's finish this out. So I'm going to offset this next line at 15/16. So 15/16, boom, and let's bring you up, and then I'm going to hit dimension, and this is going to make sure that we are at the right size. I'm going to leave these messy until we get these all done. Now I'm going to go offset, and then we'll clean them up. 7/8 here, so 7/8. Okay, we're going to grab you. Now this one we can do twice, right? We got 1, 2. So I'm going to do it once, do it twice. And let's dimension both of those from here to here. Now this is working because I have my constraints on to the endpoints down here. So if you're not able to do that, make sure you turn endpoints on and this blue box is highlighted. And then I'm still in dimension mode, so I'm going to go from here to here. And then we have this last one that we're going to offset 11/16 here. And I need offset. So we're going to, let me click off of that. When I do that, once in a while, I forget to put in my dimension first. So 11/16, enter. Now we're going to do this one. And what we're going to do is actually, let's dimension these last two here while we're at it. And then that's going to be our check when we lay this out. You're going to be able to go back and check this out to make sure that you can measure off the top, and then that kind of will be your check step like in math. And if you get 7/16 there, you know you did it right. Now, when I go to lay these out nice and neat, let's actually turn off my constraints. That's going to let me move these around exactly where I want them and line up my arrows nice and neat. Okay, so I'm gonna sneeze. I'm sorry. All right, I was able to do that off camera. Good. I'm gonna grab you now. So click on it probably twice. Bring this down and then bring it over. Okay, and this is where we're gonna make everything nice and neat. So bring you in and over, and we're almost done here. Stick with me for a couple more seconds, and we will wrap things up. And let's do the last one right here. All right, what we will do then is we'll come back in the next video and we will work on laying out our holes and setting up different layers here. Thanks for joining me in this first part of the draw, and we'll see you in the next one.